And previously I worked as a lecturer in my country, and I was a teacher trainer too. So I was training teachers, especially English teachers, in designing materials.
So the class you're teaching now, what is it? What's the name of the class? Yes.
Name of the course, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, this is Introduction to Composition for Multilingual Writers.
Okay. And the class you're taking as a master's student?
MA TESOL.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many courses are you taking this?
I'm taking 2 courses especially. Global Englishes,
Okay.
right? As you can see here.
Yep. English belongs to those who use it.
Okay. And next one is Theories in Language Learning and Teaching. Yeah, 2 courses.
Okay. So let's talk about your classes you're in as a master's student.
Okay.
Tell me about these classes. How these classes function.
Like, I don't see a lot of use of technology in my classroom, but like, some professors, they do have some sort of like presentation and like, project work with the help of IT, especially like the projector and like, that's what I see. Mostly like they come with the different handouts and
Different handouts?
yeah, group discussion or group work and pair work. They provide us reading materials and we have to read those and go and like they have follow questions on the basis of that reading. Then they divide us into different groups. Then they pose the questions, discussion questions. Then we have to derive the themes from the reading and answer the questions. So this is how they do. But I don't see them using technology a lot in the classroom. But like, yeah, I mean some professors do, but not all of them. Yes.
So what are the technologies used in the classroom?
We have some of the like projectors. They are fixed, and the computers, yes, and some like doc cams. These things are there, but like some websites maybe they're used in the classroom. Not something totally new.
Okay.
This is what I do too in my classroom when I teach. I don't believe in technology that much because even though you get materials in the computer or you want to use technology, you have to contextualize them and make them like appropriate for these students. They may not be appropriate for the particular context. You may achieve the goal with particular technology, but if I use as you have used in the classroom in my class, I mean, I may not achieve the goal because I need to see my students when I'm teaching, the context of the classroom, the facilities, physical facilities, everything. So it's the teacher who contextualizes the IT or teaching materials and use it in the classroom. But I don't believe a lot because sometimes technology, with the help of technology, the professors are cheating. They just come with the prepared one, then they say whatever is written there, but the students do not get engaged all the time. That's what I believe.
Engage where?
I mean, like some teachers, they have a prepared PowerPoint, right? And they go to the classroom and they just open the PowerPoint. They do not develop the materials that are necessary on the basis of that PowerPoint, and that is what I don't like. And it needs a lot of effort to design the task, especially the activities on the basis of those PowerPoint. Otherwise, it's of no use. You just take the PowerPoint in the classroom and go and read from there. And they just prepare the PowerPoint without reading, without like proper understanding of the students, and go and read that. That's useless. So I need follow-up tasks and activities. Though some of the teachers, they distinguish between task and activities. But I need task. Whatever I use in the classroom, for example, PowerPoint, I design the follow-up task on the basis of that, so that students get engaged. That's what I understand by engagement.
When you said engage, would you mean engage in discussion or engage in classroom conversation? What do you mean?
Any sort of like, for example, you have something to show to your student, right? Then after you you know, instruct to your student or whatever lecture or whatever you do, you should have something for the students so that they get to do something. I mean, they have chance to work on it actually. Maybe conversation and discussion, and you have something. You expect some product at the end from the student. Maybe that may be speech or writing product on the basis of your lecture in the classroom. You know, that's why it's challenging for them. And teachers should be a critical thinker too for this. And teacher has to think beyond the box. You know, that's how it works.
Great. So tell me more about critical thinking in your classroom. How you see people engaging in.
I question the theories. For example, teaching methods. I read some books and they, mention about teach writing like this. Writing skills can be achieved like this. Use these processes. Follow these steps. And I do not simply believe them and use them in the classroom. I question them. For example, I collect the ideas from other contexts too, how they are used in Nepal, maybe Bangladesh or Afghanistan or UK, USA. So I analyze and I see my classroom context too. So whatever theory or teaching method that I get or task that I find, and I question. For example, will it be appropriate for my students?
Mm-hmm.
Will my students be able to achieve what I want them to achieve? So these are the questions that I ask myself and design the lessons. That's how I think critical thinking is in the classroom. So without believing what is written in some books and theories, if teacher questions, okay, will it work in my context? Then from there, the critical thinking starts.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think. Simply.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Now, how do you make sure that your students
Mm-hmm.
in the classroom, when you're a teacher, how do you make sure that your student is thinking critically?
Okay, this is really an interesting question and difficult too. If I ask them a question and if they think that the question has many answers, for example, there is no ready-made answer. If students, if they are able to think, okay, this question may have different answers. That's how I see they are thinking critically. If they question what I say too, for example, okay, professor, how about this? If they also give their opinion, that's how I see them thinking critically. Not just believing the teacher, what he or she is saying in the classroom. Some students are just there sitting, okay, they say, okay, follow the instructions, do the assignments, that's fine. That's not where you are using critical thinking in the classroom. If your student question you, professor, why not? I start writing from here. You have given me an assignment here, and you say, okay, start writing from there. But how about if I put this view first, then you are second?
Mm-hmm.
That's where I see students are thinking critically. Yeah.
Great. Now, think about your classrooms where you're a student.
Okay.
Do you think the technologies that are used by the teacher that help you in the process of critical thinking?
Yeah, at some point. Mm-hmm. For example, through the PowerPoint, now what I can do is, along with the message that I'm going to give to my students, I can include the pictures and some drawings so that those students who are visual learner, right, they can get the message from the pictures, Mm-hmm. So at some point it is helping, but if it is not used properly in the classroom, this is not working at all. And there are different sorts of students. If teacher cannot design the lesson plan or the task on the basis of the students' level, their mixed ability nature, that doesn't work. So yes, technology is helping in the classroom to set the foundation for critical thinking, if only teacher is able to contextualize them. Yeah.
So as you were saying, there are different type of learners.
Yeah.
What type of learners do you think you are?
I like discussion, and I like to read something, watch something, and listen. So therefore, I'm a visual learner. I need to see something. I need to watch something to learn. Then I need to I should discuss whatever I watch, right? I talk a lot, and this is what happens in my classroom too. And whenever I'm in my group, like I'm always like the first to speak. So I'm a visual learner, and then I need to discuss what I watch. Yeah, and I never go to my classroom with a single lesson plan. In your class, you don't have to expect that there is only one type of a student. There are different types of students. So at least proper need analysis and the level of students we need to understand before we plan something. So even if I have some plan in my head, like one plan, in my head, I should think something like, okay, if this doesn't work, I will do this. If this doesn't work for the fast learners, I will do this. If this doesn't work for the slow learners, I will do this. And some teachers say weak and strong. I never use the word weak and strong for the human beings. They learn, but they learn slowly. That's why they are slow learners, but they are not weak.
So for the slow learners, you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
if you want them as a teacher, if you want them to engage in critical thinking,
Mm-hmm.
what would you use?
Okay, technology might help, but if I'm designing a task for them, but I mean, in my class, the fast learners are also there, the slow learners are also there, right? That is challenging. So how do, at the same time, differentiate my instruction or the task? So technology might help them because they can find the videos, for example, that they would like to learn from. That may work in the classroom. So sometimes I leave my students, okay, watch the video that you want to watch, read the book that you want to read, and come up with the message that the video or the book gives you, and speak. And they can select that they like.
Do you think you would use more technology, or would you like to eliminate technology from your classroom?
Oh, not really. I can't eliminate. I was working on my action plan yesterday for the next semester, how much I should include the technology. Sometimes this is so boring if we don't use technology because students are with the technology. So if we have some lessons with technology, then they would like to learn. The other day I was using the website Padlet. This is the website where one account is created and all the students are connected. Then the questions are given there. Then they work on their computer. The question is something like, how do you define critical thinking, for example? They write their definition in their computer. Then all the writing that the students do, 20 students do, is reflected on the screen. So everyone can see what they are doing there. And teacher can see who is working on it, who is not working on it. I mean, technology helps like that too. So I'm thinking of including more, but I get overwhelmed sometimes by looking at different materials because there are a lot of materials and it's hard to contextualize and select properly. So I'm thinking of using it more. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's great that you like to use that more, and you said there's effectivity.
Yeah.
So are you more discussion-based teacher or?
Yeah,
more...
I believe in discussion.
So as you were saying, that those questions or that technology that allows students to answer questions through computer, and you don't have to use any interpersonal communication with the teacher, with the students, one-on-one. How do you see that?
Okay, so group work and pair work, these two things are very important for my class, and that make my class student-centered. And I realized that sometimes I talk a lot. Like TTT is more in my classroom, teacher talking time. The students talking time is less. So I'm reducing these things. And that's what technology helps me. So when I use the activity from the computer, maybe, that I don't have to talk a lot. So sometimes you just write the instruction and project on the screen, and teacher doesn't have to speak. So the technology is making the job easier sometimes. But at the same time, if teacher cannot contextualize it, then this is going to be a difficult. Yes, I believe in discussion and do
so. As you said, that you don't have to talk a lot if you use this type of technology. So you're making the technology talk for you, which is lessening your work in interpersonal communication with students. Do you think that can have effects that can affect students' thought process? Because I'm saying one way is you personally talking to students and bringing more bridge with the students' thought process, because you're working with the students one-on-one. And the other way, what you said, that you're making the technology talk for you.
Okay.
So you can sit back and relax. In both two ways, do you think either one of them can affect their thought process?
Balance is very necessary.
Okay.
Balancing is, how much time you are, you spending with the activities that allows technology in the classroom, and also for interpersonal communication, as you said, to be socialized. This is very important to have conversation with the students one-on-one. But nowadays the students are so ignorant because of IT, because of technology. But at the same time, it's the teacher to balance things in the classroom. How much time you have to allocate for the activities where there is the use of technology, and you have to also figure out where one-on-one conferencing or discussion is required. So yes, balance is very important.